Start.
Go. All right, so welcome to the first episode of the Crelectors Podcast. My name's Ridge,
My name is Rob.
and together we make the Crelectors. Just to give you guys a little introduction about ourselves, how we started getting back into collecting Pokemon cards and going crazy about Pokemon again. Well, when I was a kid, I'm 26 now, old, retired, all that stuff. But when I was a kid,
Pension.
pension cashed in. I just got my walker the other day.
401ks cashed out. All in Hidden Fates ETVs.
all from Hidden Fates ETVs. But when I was a kid, I grew up. I watched the show when I was a kid. I played the video games. I had the cards. I watched the movies. I was all about it. And then middle school rolled around, and
You got called a nerd, huh?
I got called a nerd, and I wasn't playing sports, so I had to play sports, and then girls, so, that went away, and Pokemon kind of took a back seat for a little while, until, about a year ago, I actually called in. I'm sure a lot of people know who this is. You know who Gary Vee is?
Yeah.
So I was watching a Gary Vee live, and he was actually on a live with Wale. You know the rapper Wale. And they were accepting comments in order to get called in, and I asked a question, and they actually let me into the voice call, and it was sick. So I was talking to Wale and Gary Vee, and Gary Vee was somehow it came up, cards, get back into cards. Sports cards are gonna go crazy again. He advised that I bought Giannis rookie PSA 10 at the time. It was like $200-$300.
Oh, and then it went jumped up.
They're crazy now, but I took that information and I ended up diving deep into it, and then I saw, oh hey, there are Pokemon cards that are PSA graded. So then I took it upon myself to buy a couple of first edition base set PSA 10s, and the rest is history from there. I kind of jumped right back into it, went to the closest stores near my house, asking anybody and anyone what they knew about it, how I could get back into it, all about the new sets, and then somewhere along the line I ran into you.
Yeah, I posted on Facebook. I was like, anyone know anything about Pokemon cards? And you got tagged, and that's how I met.
Shout out Bianca.
So the way I got back into Pokemon, well, when I was little, when I was 4, I loved Charizard.
Yeah,
I watched Pokemon, and I fell in love with Charizard. And as a kid, well, the whole evolution line. As a kid, I would be Charmander for Halloween.
Nice.
All this stuff. I love Pokemon.
Sick.
Collected the figures, and my parents bought me everything Pokemon. Played the games, everything.
Yeah.
My dad actually bought the unlimited base set Charizard, the one that I sent in for grading, for like $25. And at the time, it was like that. It's astronomical.
That was crazy for a card.
And he had to jump through some hoops to get it. He had to meet up with someone that knew someone that had the card.
Shout out Rob's dad.
So again, same thing with Ridge. I love Pokemon for a little bit longer. I didn't care if I don't know. I didn't care if people didn't like Pokemon and I did. I got to a point where I was probably like 12, 13. That's when I stopped, and then I was heavy into sports, playing sports throughout high school. So I didn't have time for Pokemon. Actually, my mom sold all my Pokemon games at a yard sale.
Oh.
I literally was trying to find them when I moved in 2013, 2014. I was like, Mom, where are these? And she's like, I sold those. And I was like, that was my entire childhood. And she's like, how much do you sell it for? $30. You just sold my whole childhood for $30. And I was like,
I want the $30, Mom.
I was like,
my childhood's worth more than that. Okay?
At least 100.
Yeah, right.
So
imagine
point,
what that collection would go for now.
No, just the games, games, not
imagine what just those games. I mean, they were open, but that's another thing.
Yeah, everything.
The
Pokemon.
sealed games are going crazy too.
So at that point, I kind of gave up a little bit on Pokemon. No cards, no games, no nothing. And then 2016 came around, Pokemon Go came out. addicted. Straight up addicted.
I forgot about that. I jumped right in at first too.
I played Pokemon Go for months and months.
I was at my job waiting at Aunt Carrie's, catching Squirtle in the alley, like, got him, and then running off to a table to wait.
The only reason why I stopped playing that game is because they didn't update the game.
Okay.
If they updated the game like they did now,
yep,
I would never stop.
So that kind of got you back in after a little.
That got me back into the games.
How'd you get
cards.
back into cards?
The cards.
It was just in your face.
I
online,
just saw
right?
it. Yeah.
You were like,
I've been watching Gary Vee and Logan Paul and all that for years. And as soon as I saw them getting into it, I was like, wait, I have a bunch of those cards, just like everyone else, pretty much.
Yep.
Went digging.
I'm rich.
Found my cards. I was like, I know I have that Charizard card. I found it. It was all beat up. It was just an unlimited one, which is, still valuable.
Yeah.
But then I looked through all my other cards, and I was like, wow, these are sick. These are sick. These are sick. Went to Walmart, grabbed a Cosmic Eclipse pack, got a Frostmoth gold card at the first pack. And I was like,
you're like,
all right,
hooked. I'm back.
Hooked. Then from there, I would go to Walmart down the street, grab a single pack. I probably bought within those 9 to 10 packs I bought. I got eight secret rares every single time. And I was like, I got a Lannis fishing rod. I got Frostmoth. I got a secret rare from Cosmic Eclipse. I got all those, and I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. I'm in. And then that's when I posted on Facebook, and then that's when I found you.
The Crelectors were born. All right, well, so we keep saying the Crelectors. Let's explain a little bit of what we plan on doing with that name and what that kind of will represent. I mean, you came up with the name.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hopped aboard. We kind of got together. We were sharing each other's collections, started doing some rips together, and then we kind of, I think, built a vision together of what the Crelectors could be, will be, and currently is where we're starting today. So, like, where we're at today, what do you think the Crelectors is basically starting today? And, like, short term, what do you see us doing? And then long term, what do you see us doing?
So, the Crelectors, if you none of you probably know, but when I started this, I'm a videographer and photographer, so I'm a creative person. So I mashed up creative and collector to be a Crelector. Nice. And I started off just the Crelector. Then I met Ridge, and we started talking. And then I was like, this kid loves Pokemon as much as I do. I can literally nerd out to Pokemon with him. So it's all, the vision is we want to provide content because we're already going to do this anyways.
Yeah.
We might as well film it.
Yeah, we do this. The only difference is now that we have a camera.
Yeah,
we do this anyway.
I'm a videographer. Like, I wanted to mash them both together, so I want to do like a creative thing about Pokemon. So like some of my pictures on my Instagram are high quality pictures and creative pictures, just because that's the background that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe
what
edit in a tag right here.
Boom,
follow us at the Crelectors. I don't know if you can do that or not.
I could. It's just gonna take me forever. Thanks, Rich.
Right. You're welcome.
So we're gonna provide content, obviously. Content has always been a big thing for me, just because again, I'm a videographer. Buy and sell products. Our main goal is to invest and collect, but also we're going to buy and sell. Mm-hmm. Trying to buy low, sell high, get new releases. Things like that.
Build personal collections a little bit.
Build up a personal collection. For example, like I went to go buy a couple Hidden Fates ETBs at a good price. Sold them at a better price, and then I was able to keep a Hidden Fates ETB for free basically because I just sold
right into the long term.
I just sold the other ones for nothing too crazy. I usually try to go for like the middle ground.
Where you're not kind of scalping everybody out, but you did the hard grinding of finding where it was and having the capital to purchase multiple of them. Yeah. So somewhere along the lines, you're doing a service as well, because then you're finding a product that people would like, and then also hand delivering it. That deserves some type of compensation. So, I mean, you get into a gray area there where some people think some things are ethical and not, but I've seen how you've done it, and I think that you're doing it the right way. Whereas you could easily be charging a lot more for the
100%,
product
yeah.
that you're getting, and you're not. You're helping other people get into the hobby by not charging them an
Yeah.
arm and a leg, which is
And,
awesome.
and on top of it, I actually sold a couple ETBs today, and I go, "What's your favorite cards?" He told me Charizard and Lugia.
Oh.
I gave him a Lugia from
Oh
Vivid
my
Voltage,
God,
and I
guys.
gave him the non-hollow Charizard from Vivid Voltage too.
Hit
Just
them
because-
up. Hit 'em up. You might just get a steal.
you're gonna
That's
drop-
crazy. I don't do that. Don't hit me up because you're not getting a free Charizard or Lugia with my.
If you're gonna
purchases.
drop like $500-600
Oh,
on
maybe. Okay,
on
maybe.
something that you're
That's
purchasing
fair.
from me,
Yep.
I want to give you something.
Look at that. Great service.
Yeah, customer service. I've gone through a lot of either little businesses or worked with a lot of people. Customer service is
Me
key.
too.
So
I hear you.
that's one of my focuses, especially on the business side of things.
So then I say that would sum up like short term where the collectors are at, how they started, what we're at, and then
Yep.
long term I think that we have some goals set that we're more than willing to share. I mean, I know that we definitely want to get our seller's license, which
Yep.
we don't have yet. We still are buying brick and mortar, Walmart, online. That's how we're getting our cards and product.
Yep.
But we have a goal set to get our seller's license. And then hopefully once we establish that, we'll be able to sell a lot of product. Like we're talking.
That's like a 2021 goal, pretty
Yeah.
much, to sell a seller's license.
Definitely. And then creating a storefront would be nice, whether it's online or a brick and mortar actual store.
Yeah.
And these are long term goals, guys. We're realistic about it. We know that this isn't going to happen overnight. It's a lot of hard work, but it seems like we're in it for the long haul. and
Yeah,
it's-
so the sorry to cut you off.
No,
The
you're
seller's license is pretty much like a 1 to 2 year thing. We just want to get that in the door because it does take a long time to get relationships with the distributors and stuff. And then the storefront is probably like like a 2 to 5 year plan. Just because we have to get that seller's license first. We could do it certain ways where we build a studio for all of this and then create a storefront, which is another possibility that we could look at. But then what is the other thing we want to do?
I think this one's kind of more of a medium length goal, so
Yeah.
where we could actually be doing this pretty soon, depending on our outreach, how many people end up watching our videos, how quickly our content grows. But it would be big group PSA submissions.
So I'm thinking more so locally
Okay.
for that, like New England area,
New
that
England
people
area.
can drive here, bring it here, and then we ship out that way.
Or even
Um,
if they do need to ship it to us, it won't cost them a
Yeah.
whole lot extra to get it to us because it's just coming from New
I
York
think that would be
versus
less
crossing.
stressful. Yeah.
Yeah, so like Northeast, big PSA group submissions for people that
Mhm.
want to grade their cards and potentially offering some other services that'll go along with us. We've been doing it for a solid year and we've had success with it as far as grading cards or buying graded cards, looking at the differences between these cards, knowing the differences between a PSA and a 10, centering, corners, edges, surface, all of it. So just to have, maybe you're just jumping in and you have no idea what I just said, any of that meant, having eyes look over something that you plan on grading can help you from spending money in a bad place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like consulting the person that doesn't know as much, and they don't just take their card and it's realistically it's a PSA 5, but they don't know to look at the corners, they don't know what to look at when they're looking at the surface or anything. So they're just gonna send it out. It's gonna come back at 5, and they're gonna be like, "This card it's sold for $5,000. I'm gonna put it up for $3,200 or something." I've seen that happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Where I go on Facebook Marketplace and there's a beat up Charizard and there's like charging $350 for it.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's a $20 card, and just because it's Charizard doesn't mean that it's that top value.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think that.
And so even if it would be offering an explanation to people about why your card is worth what it is and how much it would be worth. So I think that basically does a good job of summing up the vision, short term and long term for the collector. So if any of that interests you, I would highly suggest subscribing to our channel on YouTube, following us on Instagram, liking this video when it goes up, and we more than welcome you guys to join us on this journey. we figured why not document it if we're gonna go all in, because it'll be fun to look back on this, because this is basically ground zero right here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into a segment called I Choose You. So during this segment, basically we're gonna split up two different things that have to do with Pokemon, whether it be a specific Pokemon, a whole set, a type of a card, and we each have to choose which one of those and explain why we choose those things.
Yep.
So the first one we're gonna do is Pokemon, and the two Pokemon that we're gonna be choosing between are some iconic legendary Pokemon, Mewtwo and Mew. So Rob, you wanna let them know who you're gonna choose and why?
So we have notes here, and Ridge has a nice like paragraph about it, and I just have like, so I picked Mew. My pick is Mew, and my first thing says cute AF.
You're not lying. You're not lying.
A lot of the reasons why people love Pokemon is because they're
100%.
cute. Pikachu is iconic because he's adorable.
Yeah.
And then I love the what Mew does in a lot of the shows and movies. He like messes with a lot of people. He just like he'll like I forget what movie I just watched.
Is it the OG one with Mewtwo in it?
No, not that one. I think
or Suicune one?
I think it was Journeys, the new one on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I started watching that.
Slacking.
And Mew was like messing with a Nidoking, and he was doing the same moves that the Nidoking was doing.
Oh,
so like Nidoking did like Earthquake, and then Mew did Earthquake, and then like he just kept doing these moves,
toying with them.
and he's just laughing and flying around, disappearing, like messing up with them.
Yeah, it's definitely one of Mew's best.
And I love he's like a little jokester. And then I put down he can duplicate moves. He can just mimic every Pokemon.
He's like a Ditto.
Yeah, so.
But cooler.
Mew is just one of those like jokester Pokemon that it's like you watch it and just laugh, and you just it's just fun.
I have to say, Mew I feel like gets less love and is underrated. I definitely have mad love for Mew, but Mewtwo, I gotta choose you, and it's kind of the opposite. Like whereas Mew is cute, Mewtwo is, I don't want to swear, but he is really cool.
No, just
you know
swear
what I mean?
and then watch. So swear.
I can bleep it out.
Swear, and then I'll put a duck sound on and go.
Mewtwo is badass.
Oh, that's not a swear. I'm not blocking that out.
Yeah, but we have to make it so that kids can watch.
Yeah,
this
no,
too.
I'm gonna do a duck sound.
Nice. But yeah, Mewtwo. I think amongst Pokemon fans, it's gonna play out pretty even. I think that Mew has its fan base, and so does Mewtwo. But I'm definitely on the Mewtwo side of it.
I'm gonna make a comparison real quick.
Go ahead.
So Mew is like Loki of Marvel.
Okay.
And Mewtwo is Thanos of Marvel.
Wow. Okay.
So we gotta think about it like that. One's badass.
Yep.
Hates existence. And then
it's just mad about
Mew
it.
is just like I'm a mess around with my
whatever I can.
Yeah, I just everything I do is like whatever, fun.
Yeah, so I side more on like that cooler, just badass Pokemon. Like I think in the original movie he could talk, and that added a lot to him. He was the first. Was it?
Was first. He was first. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the first talking Pokemon, which for me was awesome because the whole time leading up to that, you kind of just interpret what the Pokemon means by its actions.
Yeah. Pika, Pika.
Before a Pokemon to actually say what it was thinking, that added a whole nother element to it.
Meow.
But that's what I'm saying.
Was it Meow?
I'm not sure if somebody out there is gonna be like, no,
Meow
it wasn't
said,
Mewtwo.
"What's up?"
Yeah,
first.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Mewtwo.
But you get the point. Like he was the main Pokemon. You could say he's villainous, but I kind of like that. He has a great story behind him, a whole movie based around him, and the cards are just sick. In the video games, he's super strong, rare, hard to get. So those were all my reasons why choosing Mewtwo.
One more thing. Which shiny is better?
I love the Mewtwo shiny.
You like the green?
And I like the shine. I have a shining Mew that we just sent into PSA. Mewtwo. The green is sick.
Yeah, I don't know because
I'm
like thinking
the Mew?
in my head.
That makes sense because you chose Mew and I chose Mewtwo.
In my head, I'm thinking of the Gold Star cards, and they have a Mewtwo and a Mew, And I
See,
don't know
was
that
thinking
Mew.
more Hidden Fates and Shining Legends type cards.
I
Like
love
that
the
Mew
green
is
though.
really cool. It's off blue, but I love the Mewtwo green.
Yeah. I might have to go for the Mewtwo
yeah.
Shining.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
shiny card.
It's so clean.
Or shiny
Alright.
Pokemon.
So for the next part of this segment, we're gonna break into two different eras, if you will, set types. We're gonna break into Sun and Moon, when we're talking about the cards, and Sword and Shield. So Rob, between Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, what would you choose?
So,
It's tough, honestly.
So I like the artwork and the full arts and stuff from both sets. I like the uniqueness of both of them. I am a big fan of Cosmic Eclipse. Big
Great.
fan of the Secret Rares. Big fan of that
Team Up.
set. Team Up is another one actually.
Sick.
They're really cool.
First of its kind.
Pictures. Yep, not pictures. Arts and everything. But then Hidden Fates, Darkness Ablaze.
You gotta choose one, Rob.
Chunky
You gotta
Chew
choose
from
one.
Vivid Voltage.
You can't be split. You gotta go all in.
I'm gonna go with.
Heartbroken, dude. It's
I'm
tearing you
gonna
apart.
go with Sword and Shield just because I don't know I know a bunch of Sun and Moon sets, but I don't know all of them. I know a lot more of Sword and Shield. I've seen more of Sword and Shield. So based on that, I'm gonna say Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I have to
But
agree.
Cosmic Eclipse is on the like
I think Sword and Shield. I choose you for sure.
they're just sick.
Yeah, like for me, I bought a Switch and I started playing.
Hold up. I'm just gonna say Sun and Moon because I
This
forgot.
is becoming a trend. You're
I
just
forgot-
gonna cut me off our whole podcast.
I forgot Lost Thunder was Sun and Moon. No, 100% Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon now.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
That Lugia and Lost Thunder.
Rob is torn. He can't make up his mind.
That's
This is
it.
gonna be a hard segment for him. It's gonna be his least favorite segment. He's not gonna be able to make a decision. I send him the doc. He doesn't get prepared properly.
What do you mean? I did this.
I know.
We did this 2 weeks ago, but I did it.
I'm just joking. Yeah, we're a little bit behind on this. It's tough with COVID. We've been trying to get together and be safe about it. But yeah, like I was saying, it's Sword and Shield for me. I bought a Switch and got Sword and Shield video game, and I really like the Galar region Pokemon. I also began collecting the cards again. Like the first cards sets that I really got to buy was like basically Rebel Clash were the first cards that I started rebuying when I jumped back in.
Awesome set.
It's slept on. It's honestly slept on. I think people don't think so, but there are some cool gold cards in there, and there's there's a lot of secret rare VMAXs in there like Rillaboom and
Oh yeah, you like those Pokemon?
I just think that starters in the long term hold value.
Yeah.
And I think Rillaboom is sick. I think starters typically hold value just because you see them more. They're on a lot of product, you know, when you look back.
Yep.
Like Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur are technically common, weak, regular Pokemon, but because they're the starters, that makes their value in cards so much higher. But yeah, that's probably why I would choose Sword and Shield, but I completely understand why you would choose Sun and Moon. It's just a sick set. Both of them are sweet. As far as everything goes, artwork, I think you make a lot of good points. Team Up is really cool. Cosmic Eclipse is a great set. But for me, I
love Champions Path.
I don't know. I guess, does Rob have a point that Champions Path is overrated and an awful set? Maybe. Vivid Voltage is cool. I think Rebel Clash gets slept on. Now we're going to have Shining Fates and the new set that just dropped. Battle Styles.
Yep.
And I think once we look back at Sword and Shield as a whole, that it'll... Especially because that's when the whole... everything about Pokemon card collecting wise really started booming in Sword and Shield. So I think it'll be remembered for that.
That turning point.
Last one we're going to do for I Choose You is comparing two more sets, Jungle and Fossil.
Ooh.
So these are kind of old school, legendary, and we're talking the cards when we're talking about this, the booster boxes, and let's just jump into it, Rob. Between Jungle and Fossil, Rob didn't do his homework, so so I'll go.
No, I'll go. All right. So, Jungle versus Fossil, two vintage sets.
Off the top.
That are very, very sought after. Especially their, first editions and then the no symbols and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Fossil.
Nice, that's what I chose too.
So I'm gonna go with Fossil solely on the fact that the Gengar Fossil first edition is one of my favorite cards in Pokemon.
So
I actually sold that card a couple months ago because it was in bad shape, and I was like, I'll just get another one. I don't know why I sold it, but I did. So that one's gone. I'm gonna try to get a PSA, 7 or 8 because I can't afford the 10. But I'm trying to get that in the future. But I'm gonna go with Fossil. I like the card sets. I mean, both are not lackluster, but they're both kind of overshadowed by base set.
Definitely overshadowed by base, but I don't really think justifiably, honestly.
Yeah.
I understand why, because that's the first ever set and Charizard's in it, and that's the biggest chase card basically that you can have, and that there's a lot of the OG Pokemon in there, but there are a bunch of OGs in this, and I think that base set just towers over Fossil and Jungle.
People probably forget about Jungle.
And I don't think that it should tower over them.
Yeah.
I think it should be over them, but with the reasonable margin in between,
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're right there. For me, I chose Fossil. Even their commons are cool in there. I mean, they got Geodude. I love Geodude. Ghastly, really cool common. Krabby, he's alright, but
they got the Dragonite too. I forgot about that.
That's what I was gonna say. You can get the birds,
Mm-hmm.
all 3 birds.
Right.
Aerodactyl, which is super slept on. Dragonite, super slept on. Maybe not. He actually gets love. Lapras, Raichu, and then Gengar.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, they're like the cool, edgy Pokemon.
Of the first.
And I'm all about that. Aerodactyl, so slept on. I remember watching the cartoon. I remember that Aerodactyl episode like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so cool. It's a pterodactyl Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then Dragonite, the other dragon Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
other than Charizard, which is kind of like a little more mysterious. Really cool pre-evolutions. All about Fossil. All in. I love Jungle too. It's got one of my favorite cards that I have, a PSA 10 Cubone. Marowak. But definitely between those two, I'd have to go with Fossil.
Isn't Dragonite like the Flash? Like, can't he fly? Can't he like fly at the speed
super fast? I'm pretty sure.
Like
yeah.
in the lore or
boom,
something.
boom. Yeah.
I saw that the other day. I was
on.
like, this dude's Superman.
All right. So let's move into our next segment. That was
The timer for the other one.
No, that was this segment's music. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna play it over. No, I'm not doing that.
All right, so we're gonna go into some investing advice topics and just talk, basically where we're looking to put our money, whether it's vintage, graded, new, sealed, raw, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk vintage. I'm gonna talk vintage, graded, Neo Genesis. Basically, I think that it's being a little overlooked. So when I made this, and every day that goes by, you can miss certain things. Prices can spike, and go up, and I think that the window is closing as far as like a steal. But I still think that these are undervalued, and my main reason why Neo Genesis PSA graded cards are a steal in some type of way is solely based off of their population. So if you go to PSA graded cards and look into pop reports, Neo Genesis pop reports are super, super, super low. Like under 100 for basically every card. which is crazy. If I have a PSA 10 first edition Neo Genesis card, and there's also only 20 of these that exist,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many more can there really be, you know?
Yeah.
How many kids from Neo Genesis, one, even were interested in Pokemon to that point,
Mm-hmm.
two, kept those cards in such pristine condition that 20 years later they can now turn into a PSA 10 and just didn't play with them,
Mm-hmm.
and three, actually go through with it and get it PSA graded. You know, there's a lot of things that are going to keep that PSA pop report from spiking up randomly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't reprint Neo Genesis, whereas you run into some issues with that with investing in the newer sets. If you're buying new cards, grading them, and then playing the long-term hold game, you risk reprints devaluing your PSA 10 worth for a period of time until they stop printing that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's really all about the low pop reports. And I mean, I was buying Neo Genesis, nothing crazy, no hollows or anything, but a common Neo Genesis card for $25 to $29 about 7 to 8 months ago. Those are easily $70 to $100 cards
Mm-hmm.
now. So for me, even if you go and buy those Neo Genesis PSA 10 commons for 100, if you can find them 100, 120, for me that's a good place to put your money, because in the long run you're going to hold one of 20,
Mm-hmm.
one of even the highest, one of 100 is still, once people start looking at that, I think that that's going to drive those prices up, and if not, at least hold with a growing value on them.
So I'm going to work off what you just said. For example, so the Darkness Ablaze Charizard VMAX card. When that set released, that card was super popular. And you don't really know, especially with 2020 with COVID, you don't know how much they're going to print. You don't know what waves are going to come in. You don't know if they're going to stay on the shelves or not. So with that specific card, it was about $75 to $125 raw, and then graded a 9 or a 10 was like $350 to $550, $600, right?
Yep.
And now if you guys go check out the prices, a PSA 10 is like $250. You can buy that card probably for like $50 to $60 if someone wants to get rid of it. And that's the reason for that, is because that set kept on printing, and they, every time I went to Walmart, every time I went to Target, every time I went somewhere, always had Darkness Ablaze. So if there's a popular card in one of those sets that are still reprinting and printing and printing, a lot of those cards will fluctuate in value very consistently, because if it's still on shelves, that means people are still ripping packs, and that means people are still getting those Charizards, and they're still flooding the market. So for example, I had that card, I bought it at I believe $70, and then I ended up trading it along with another card to get a slab that I have, and a couple weeks later that card dropped from like a PSA 10 at $550 to now I see them for $250. So you just have to read and see where the print is with certain newer sets, not so much older sets because they're not going to be reprinted. But if you're looking at newer sets, for another example is Cosmic Eclipse. For that Pikachu, Secret Rare that everyone loves, I have a copy at PSA right now. That is rumored to be reprinted. It actually just, got off the shelves a couple months ago because of all this hype. So it's rumored to be reprinted. So at this point, you're taking a risk for that card right now to either get it, grade it, and keep it and hold on to it, because that card's going to go up regardless, either next year or X amount of years. But if that card gets reprinted, that's going to bring down that price a bit, just because there's going to be more available. So if you're investing in cards, for vintage cards, follow what Rich was saying. Neo Genesis is a great pick. And then newer cards, see like the Chunky Chews and stuff. Those cards, Vivid Voltage is going to keep coming out. So those cards, those graded cards, are gonna keep fluctuating. So the pop reports, everyone's gonna send in their cards now. In 9 months, there's gonna be 5,000 Chunky Chews at PSA 10 or something crazy like that, just because there's so many people opening cards. So you just got to keep that in mind for newer sets. For older sets, like he said, Neo Genesis, if you want to put some money into a certain card, it's going to hold its value, and it's, I don't want to say the only way is up, but a lot of those cards, they either hold their value or they go up. They're not going to get reprinted. The pop reports are going to go up incrementally. Not too many are going to pop up. So
just
older
to put
cards
it in context, you see me typing away over here. I was trying to listen, and everything you said was spot on. But full art Charizard VMAX, there's 1,551 PSA 10s.
Yep.
Whereas,
and there's just going to be more in the next couple months because everyone was sending them out.
They're reprinting. There's a huge PSA submission that will be coming back. That affects these things. And I wrote a bunch here. I gotta learn how to bullet this so that I can find it. But I wanna share this part here. So let me just find it. So I purchased a Merrill Neo Genesis for $30. I sold it 2 months later for $60. There, making $30, making 100% back of your investment is a very high percentage.
Yep.
That is very hard to make on anything, even when you're talking stocks. Try to buy a stock for $30 and guarantee that a couple months later you'll double your money from that. That's hard to do. So that was a good percentage. I searched that card on eBay just for fun the other day. Someone listed the same Merrill PSA 10. They listed it for $1,000. Now I'm not saying they're gonna get that, but if you were to Google, if you were to search that on eBay right now, Merrill Neo Genesis PSA 10, there's only a couple because the population's very low, and somebody has one of those and is asking $1,000 for it. Now what happens when someone who's not completely educated comes in to the hobby and for whatever reason has $1,000 to spend and chooses to buy that? Then that card that I bought for $30, sold for $60, is now a $1,000 card. That won't happen. That's not gonna happen. Realistically, that's probably $150 tops card. Really, $100 probably. And I did cash out because I saw a percentage that I wanted to liquidate basically, and I was okay with that. And I have other Neo Genesis cards. I have Ladybug, Sudowoodo, which are also very low pops, and I just looked these up the other day. They're anywhere from 20 to 30 population. So we're talking 20 to 30 population to 1,500.
And it's still printing.
And it's still printing. So just be careful when you go crazy investing in modern PSA 10 cards, because they are valuable, but we don't know what's going to happen in the long run, and someone always ends up holding the bag. So if you're going to hold a bag, I'd rather hold a bag of Neo Genesis Population 20 first edition 20-year-old card than to hold a bag of under a year-old card 1,500 population report. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they get that. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but it's an important part of investing to think about, because we can analyze the market of Neo Genesis, that market, and what came after for 20 years, which then solidifies that more than what's coming right now, because we don't know what's going to happen in 20 years and how that's going to affect where that card sits in the history of Pokemon. You know, so if you can, why not invest in something that has 20 years that after it, you know what I mean, and that you can look at and analyze and have all the numbers, and it's just more solidified as far as value, I think. We're not perfect, we're not experts, everything could crash tomorrow for all we know, but that's some advice that I
So to
would
put
like
that in perspective, right?
Hmm?
If you own one PSA 10 Charizard at 15 1,500,
Yep.
you own like a fraction of a percent.
Mm-hmm.
If you own one Marrow PSA 10,
You
and
own
there's
a
only
good
20,
slice of the
you own
pie.
5% of the population. Like, that's very, like, you can do a lot with that. Just
100%.
so to bring it all together, vintage is a good investment, and hidden sets like Neo Genesis that don't get too much love are great choices. And also looking at pop reports, and seeing those low key cards like the Marrow, or I don't know, a Cubone or something that has like a pop 10. It's not a popular card, but it's a pop 10. You know, you if you get one of those, you have 10%, 5% of the market for that card. So
it's very available information to anybody. I'm right here. Don't need an account. PSA.com. Right at the top, they have a pop report tab. You click that, you enter the card that you're searching for, do maybe a little bit of searching, and then you can find all this information that we're talking about here as well. So it's no secret. Let's get into our next segment. What's hot? Here we're going to talk about basically the products around the hobby that are buzzing, everybody's talking about, new generations, new product, new movies, anything that's new and got some hype to it. So I'm going to talk about something that might be a little obvious, maybe not so much, because when we released this video there have been new things that have been said to be coming out, but I want to talk about Hidden Fates reprint and the fact that it's readily available on shelves. What's so special about Hidden Fates is the shiny vault, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yep.
That's probably the artwork in the whole entire set is really good. I really appreciate the commons, the artwork of the commons, but when you're opening Hidden Fates, you're hoping that you hit the shiny Charizard, the shiny Mewtwo, the shiny Umbreon, shiny Espeon, and there are a lot of shinies, and it's a great set because you open one of those and it reminds you of something that we could be talking about right now, Shiny V. It's something along the lines of that, where it feels like every pack you're pulling a big hit, and that's why it's so expensive, why it's so sought after, but now they're reprinting it. So basically, I would highly suggest getting your hands on any Hidden Fates that you can, and I don't think you can go too wrong with Hidden Fates if you choose to buy it and open it, buy it and hold it, buy it and flip it. That's why I really wanted to talk about that, because before this reprint, prices were going through the roofs. We're talking $200 for an ETB, and that's a good amount of change for an ETB when there's only 8 to 10 packs in there. Even the tins are 40 to 45, 50 even if you're paying on the higher end of that for 4 packs of this stuff. So the fact that it's going to be hitting retail stores, Walmart, your close brick and mortar, and that people can get their hands on this for a relatively fair price, that's what I wanted to just highlight and let anybody out there know, if they didn't know that they were having a reprint, just to keep an eye out for that when you're shopping for Pokemon cards. It's a great set.
So I'm going to talk about some modern cards that are hot right now. Amazing Rares. Amazing Rares just got introduced into our English sets. We got the Jirachi, we got the Rayquaza, we got the Raikou, we got the Zamazenta, Zacian, and the Celebi.
Yep.
All, fairly popular Pokemon. Whenever there's a popular Pokemon and then a really good looking card, it's, 2 and 2 to get, put 1 and 1 together.
And it's a new type of card.
And a new type of card.
Rare on top of that.
The first of its kind, pretty much, in English sets.
Which matters in the long run.
Yeah.
When we look at the first you're always looking at the first of something, even when you break it down to base set.
Mm-hmm.
They did 3 versions of base set: first edition, shadowless, and unlimited, and everybody wants first edition.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, who knows if Amazing Rares are the thing that holds out of this generation, and you have the first of an Amazing Rare.
Yeah.
And that's from Vivid
Vivid
Voltage,
Voltage.
in case you guys.
So
were
Vivid
wondering.
Voltage is readily available right now.
Oh yeah. And they just did a reprint of that, right?
They're doing reprints. They're doing waves. Vivid Voltage. I mean, if you see, any amazing rare like under $10,
I'd say
I would,
under 10
I would say
is
grab
a
it.
steal.
Raikou, Zacian, Zamazenta, and Celebi. If you can get those all with under $12, you instant cop. For Rayquaza and Jirachi,
Instant.
under 15 probably, under 18 maybe. That's still a great price if you're going to grade it or hold on to it. Jirachi is actually very playable too. So that's a desired card, especially when tournaments start back up. People are going to be wanting that card to build decks. So investing in that Jirachi, it holds its value in the way it looks, and it's an amazing rare, but it also holds its value in the competitive scene too, which is good. So it's a win-win for that card, in my opinion.
Those cards don't get enough credit. I think that when you hold them in your hand, it's completely different than what the average camera can translate to someone online. Because those cards, the artwork is really, really good on those. I appreciate them a lot. I agree. That's a good.
Another card is the Shiny V Marnie Full Art. This card is insane.
That's hyped right now. Everybody wants that card.
I don't know the price now, but it was the second most expensive card in the set when I made this. Behind that Charizard, the Shiny Charizard VMAX. This was like a $230 card or something crazy. I hope it's in the Shining Fates set, because that would be a really cool card. English is always a little bit more desired than Japanese cards or any foreign language cards.
Full art. This one. Yeah, you're looking at. I mean, I got a 190 best offer raw here.
Yeah, so it's still holding its value around $150, $200, which, again, once a set comes out and then people start opening it, obviously the price of the card's going to go a little bit down, but that's holding its price it's fairly well.
PSA 10, $1,500. I mean, again, these are buy it nows and on eBay listed. That's not a guarantee, but that's just an idea of how crazy that card is.
So, with all that said, I think full art trainers as a whole are actually very popular too.
Yes.
We got the Boss's Orders. We got
Boss's Order is very playable card.
Yeah.
Very playable card.
All those full arts, they're newer. They're more in the modern cards. There was never full art cards, in the vintage sets. So they're a lot newer, and a lot of them, the artwork themselves is what sells the card.
Yeah.
It just looks beautiful. There's a lot of them, don't have playability or anything. They just look cool. And one of my favorite ones is actually Alistair from Vivid Voltage. I have a copy in my binder. But full art trainers are just different, and they're if you can get them, on the cheaper side, you can't go wrong with a full art trainer.
So that's a really interesting point that I'm thinking as you're saying that is they actually do have playability as far as the TCG goes, but the reality of it is that most of the versions of the full art golds or secret rare trainer cards have a regular version of that card.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you're playing the TCG, you're probably going to go buy 4 Boss's Order of the regular print, which is still going to cost you a good amount because it was a decently rare card and it's very important for the TCG. But TCG, that's where we draw a line between collecting and the game, because people forget that the game is still going on. If you don't play the card game online or play in tournaments, you are strictly collecting because you enjoy Pokemon, a certain Pokemon, the way a card looks, but you gotta be aware of both sides because that matters when it goes into investing, flipping bulk, collecting, buying, all of it. It all matters. So as far as the full art trainers go, I think that those are very interesting because now trainers are also collectible. On the collectible side for this is a cool card. And then you get into Sword and Shield video game where you can build more of a relationship with that character and have a favorite trainer.
Yeah.
because of the video game and then want that card physically. So that causes a reason for demand and a reason for people to want to collect those cards.
Yeah.
And they're
whenever
really cool looking.
Whenever you're buying cards, another thing to look at is how popular a character or Pokemon is outside of the card game.
Yeah.
So like obviously Pikachu. If you ask anyone about Pokemon, their first Pokemon's gonna be Pikachu.
Pikachu or Charizard.
Great investment, great collectible, great everything in terms of Pokemon. But like the newer sets, if you were to go ask like, a 15-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, whoever's watching Pokemon, what their favorite trainer is or what Pokemon they like, Rillaboom's one of them, a newer Pokemon that everyone loves just because of how he looks, how he is in the game, and like how he is in every other aspect of Pokemon other than the card game. Looking at the popularity outside, like Greninja as well. Greninja is one of the most popular Pokemon. I believe within the next, X amount of years, Greninja is going to be a great card to have, especially the one from Hidden Fates. That shiny Greninja is really sick. But another card I put down here, I said it before, the Darkness Ablaze Charizard. Now I know they're getting reprinted and all this stuff.
After we just on it, you're going to have to put a duck there.
That card is beautiful. Like I know it's getting printed a ton. I know it's a sought after card. Everybody likes it. High pop. But in the very, very long run, that card it's beautiful. It's the first Charizard VMAX, right? There's no other Charizard VMAX. The shiny one's coming out, Shining Fates. But that card, if you can get it at a decent price, that card is a great card to have.
So basically now is a good time, a good buying opportunity for that
Either
card.
that or you crack open Darkness Ablaze and try to get it yourself. Because it's readily available. The ETB I think is $60.
I think that there's a dip in the price of that card right now. Is
there is 100%.
I think that it's a good buying.
It's a good buy-in, just solely on the fact that it's a Charizard VMAX and it's beautiful.
There's so many big Charizard hits out right now that are on shelves that are overshadowing that card that we're going to talk about. We talk about on a regular basis buying opportunities, and you guys will hear about that moving forward. But I would say that it's a good buying opportunity for a Charizard VMAX right now. That's a good point out. And I wouldn't typically say that it's what's hot right now, but it should be as far as buying goes.
Yep.
Let's get into our next segment. It's called Pikachu Everything. There's always something to talk about when it comes to Pikachu and Pokemon. A new card, something to do with him as far as collectibles. Pikachu, like you said earlier, everybody knows Pikachu. What I want to talk about, other than my awesome shirt, shout out to Kasha Fierce. Check them out online, the Fierce Lane. They have some really cool t-shirts. I want to talk about the Delivery Pikachu promo, which I think you have one.
Yep.
Of course, Rob has one. He's awesome at collecting Pikachu. He's on top of that stuff. Right here, guys. Oh, that fail. Just put a big fail up on that. You'll have to Google it, eBay it, check it out. So back in November, there was a celebration for a new Pokemon site in Canada. So what Pokemon did on their Pokemon Center, which is their website, they offered a free promo with the purchase of a $20 purchase on their site. So all you had to do was buy something for $20, and once you received that in the mail, it also came along with that card, as well as, I believe, a keychain?
No, an ornament.
Ornament.
Yep.
Which is sick. And I missed out on the opportunity. I know Rob did too, the original opportunity to get that card for only $20. And I wish I got it, because right now they're selling for $70 to $80, and I made this a week ago, so
I think it's more now.
It's crazy how much that jumps up.
I traded for
Want to try to see how much they're going for on eBay? I'm curious. But and see if my information right here held up. We made this doc a week ago. Corona's crazy, guys. It was tough to get it together, but we'll try to be right on top of our information as we continue to make these. But it's made a big jump in price just from, technically it costs nothing, but we'll put a $20 price tag on it, and then it jumped to 70 to 80. Where's it at right now, Rob?
90, 80, 115 with the ornament, 130 sold. These are sold listings, 125, 80,
So
95,
those are offer
75.
accepted, just so you know.
What's up?
So when it has a line through, it's
yeah.
offer accepted. So they could have said $2, and they took. So those are tough. The ones without the line. So that's 113.
Oh,
right there.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
8. So it's set
90.
right around.
90
It
set.
jumped up. It's like more solid at, I'd say, $80 right now is where
Yeah.
it's going. Would be a good average from what I'm seeing on Rob's laptop. But just to think about that, you could have got this card for free by buying a $20 tin on Pokemon's website and then sold that promo for $80. That's wild. That's crazy.
Wait till the Charizard, bro.
And that's what I was getting into. Yeah, there's a Charizard one coming out. I'm not worried about that really affecting this. It will probably overshadow the Pikachu delivery, but I think in the long haul that this card, it looks cool, it's special, it has a story behind it. They're not going to reprint that most likely. Anybody who was going to get their hands on it already did, and I'm willing to bet a good majority of those people want to hold on to that card. So there's probably a small market of how many people are flipping it. I'm sure you can find plenty of them on eBay, but how many times is that going to flip? How many times are people going to go and find it, and instead of adding it to their collection, flipping it again? I don't think too many more times. So I would recommend buying it at under $100 now. I think that that's a good price to get it at, and if you get it at under $100, I think that you'll appreciate it in the long haul. Never mind the fact that if you can grade it for a PSA 10, that's gonna be a big card because most Pikachu promos are.
And that's the only way to get it. And you can't get it again. Like,
Yeah, it's not
it's all
gonna hit
done.
the shelves in a reprint of something. So, I think that you can't go wrong with getting that promo.
So I chose the Generations Pikachu, the promo one, and then the Japanese Reds Pikachu. Have a PSA 10 right here.
Sick.
But so the Generations Pikachu, I believe, comes in a box with 4 to 6 packs, I believe, of Generations.
That's like one of these boxes, right?
Yeah, it's a collection
like a
box.
double V from
Yep.
Champion's Path, but from Generations.
Yep.
That was
card.
20th anniversary.
Yep. So I'm gonna put the card up in between us somewhere over here.
Nice.
It's like Pikachu that's like mean mugging and has like
Oh,
he's
I
like
love that.
ready to
I love that
you know
Pikachu.
he's ready to mess someone up. So that one, I believe, well, Generations, the whole set is actually climbing in price, but that card is unique in terms of it's a different look for Pikachu, I think.
Yeah.
And it's
Aggressive,
just,
attacking.
Yeah, exactly, and it just looks mean, and a lot of people like that. I know I do. Another card that looks like that actually is the Team Skull Pikachu from Japan. It's Pikachu that's like mean mugging, and he has like the skull Team Skull
That's sick.
costume on. That's one of my chase cards. But Pikachu as the center, and I think Jolteon is with him, and another Pokemon maybe. I'll show it obviously. But that card is going to be a great card to invest in, just because of Generations is climbing. That Pikachu is, one of a kind, especially in the English set. So that's a good card to grab. Another one is this Japanese Reds Pikachu. This card, in my opinion, this is the 20th anniversary. I think the Generations is not 20th anniversary.
No.
It might be.
Well, they're different.
Yeah, for English, yeah. This one, I love Japanese cards. Their quality of their cards are a lot better than English, and especially the gray borders. They just fit a lot more cards better than yellow borders, which is my opinion. But Japanese cards are less, desired. Well, a lot of them are. Some are not, like this one. This card only came out in Japan. Another card that's similar to this is the one in Cosmic Eclipse. It's the one I always think about when I see this card. It has a hollow foil and everything. But you can only get this 20th anniversary in Japan. And the artwork of it is what sells it. You got red, you got Pikachu, you got Hollow, you got everything you want in this card. And it's just great for collectors. It's already up to, I believe it's up to $450. I believe.
That sounds right, probably 500.
At a PSA 10. And I got this, a couple of months ago. It was at $250.
There you go.
So
Double
it's only
your money.
climbing. It's not coming out anytime soon in English, I'm pretty sure. Especially this exact artwork. It's already been 5+ years. We haven't seen it. So if you do want this, it's only in Japan, and I believe in a different language as well. But we don't have it in English, which is the main thing.
So,
yeah.
Rob, Ridge, this is great, but I don't have $500, and they already got rid of all the Pikachu promos. I don't want to buy it over $100. What you can take away from this segment is definitely the reasons why we think those cards are good. So why does he think that Red's Pikachu is good? Because you can only get it in this set. Why do I think Delivery Pikachu is good? Because you were only allowed to get it through buying this at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So use those parameters, if you will, for your future decision making on your own cards that you have a hunch about. Think about it. Oh, can I only get this one certain way? Is there a limited amount of these? Those are the type of things that make a card valuable, because there are so many people collecting. There are a bunch of collectors out there, and everybody wants those cards in their personal collection. So when there's only 20 Neo Genesis cards, think about how many people are collecting Pokemon. How many people would like that in their collection, and there's only 20 of them. Then think about how many of those people would be willing to offer what to add that to their collection. So just something, if you guys can't get your hands on these particular cards, you can still implement why we like these cards on other types of purchases. Let's get into our final segment. This is basically what you should be looking out for, what's hasn't come out yet, what maybe just came out and you gotta really keep an eye out. It's similar to what's hot, but it's more what hasn't hit the shelf yet. I said that I'm handing this off to you, I guess. So Rob, take it away.
So what to look out for the new 2021. In January, I believe, and have seen the trend downwards, is going to be a great time to buy cards. Raw, graded, anything. January is probably going to be your best bet within the next couple months. Because when February hits, when Shiny Fates comes out,
See you.
It's just gonna, in my opinion, I think cards are gonna explode just like they did. When Logan Paul did that break or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think that if they do it right, which I think they are, because Shiny V is what they're mirroring this set off of, but with less cards and less duplicates, because we've already gotten a couple of those cards.
So what's Shiny V?
Shiny V is the Japanese set that just released. It had about 320 cards in that set.
Crazy, huge
All shiny. It had a shiny vault section, which was like 100+ cards, and then it had a lot of other cards that we actually got in different sets. So they took cards from English set, their set, threw them all together, threw in shiny cards, threw in a Charizard, threw in a chunky blue Ditto,
A
and they
huge
made
shiny Ditto that I want.
and they made a shiny V set.
And there are new amazing rares in there too.
And new amazing rares, Kyogre, Reshiram, and Yveltal. All
It
came
is
out.
just a crazy set filled with hits. It's nuts. We did a break of it. Rob did. So check out our page if you want to see that, to actually get an idea of what Shiny V looks like.
So
But then this is Shiny Fates.
Shining Fates, yeah. So
So that's like the English version of Shiny V.
So this new set, Shining Fates, Shining Legends plus Hidden Fates equals Shining Fates. And then they're taking some cards from Shining V, the Japanese set thrown into Shiny Fates. And how we know that is they release some cards, they release some artworks, they release a lot of stuff that they already put out in Shiny V, and they put it in the promo for Shining Fates, so that's how we know.
Is it the same amount of cards in Shiny?
No, so Shining Fates is going to have a lot of cards, I'm assuming. They didn't say how many, but a lot of cards, I'm assuming. We're going to get the Charizard. We're probably going to get the Lapras VMAX.
No reprints.
And we're not going to get those duplicates. There's a lot of cards in Shiny V that are in Darkness Ablaze. They're in, I think, some Vivid Voltage, and then some others that we're not going to get because they don't do duplicates, especially this soon. So yeah, with Shining Fates, I'm hoping, I mean, we're going to get the Shiny V stuff, but I'm hoping they do some Shining Legends reprints or some Neo stuff in there. That's what I'm hoping. They haven't
Me too,
said
sure,
too
I'll
much.
take that.
They haven't said too much about what's in the set yet. And that leads me to thing I put down is pre-orders. So what Pokemon is switching to, especially with COVID around, is they're doing releases in waves. So when they are doing this set, they're going to do one wave, next wave, like they're doing with Vivid Voltage, like they did with Darkness Ablaze, and the recent sets. Now what that means is if you do some pre-orders this early, and some people or some businesses are getting allocated this much, X amount, they're getting 20 cases, whatever, getting 20 cases, but in the first wave, when you really want those cards, they only get 3 cases, 4 cases, 5 cases. So they have all these pre-orders set, and it only works, and they sell out of that first wave. You're not getting that product till the second wave, and you don't know when that is. And then at the point of the second wave, you don't know if the product's going to be up or down. So you're going to be waiting a long time if you do the pre-orders, 2 months, 3 months ahead. And I know it's going to be January soon, so this is probably the time to pre-order within a month or so of the actual release, just because a lot of businesses have a better grasp at what they're actually getting in, instead of getting pre-orders 3 months ahead of time, and all they know is the name of the set. They don't know how much they're getting. They're just taking pre-orders because they want to get the product out as soon as they get it in. And I've seen a lot of people do the pre-orders, and then they get in 10% of that, and then whoever pre-orders is waiting till the next wave is coming in.
Yeah, I just hear like Shiny Fates pre-orders, and then all of a sudden sirens everywhere, and like caution, beware, like big like beware of dog sign comes up, like throw that right here, like beware of pre-orders. Like just be careful if you plan on pre-ordering it. Like it always depends on what you plan on doing. My advice would be, if you want to grab this product, add it to your collection and throw it into your collection to do nothing with it, take your time getting your hands on this, because what we've seen in the past, Vivid Voltage, Champion's Path, Darkness Ablaze, so heavily anticipated and sought after, eventually is readily available because Pokemon's going to make their money off it, and there's a huge demand for it. So yeah, you may miss it out on the first wave of it. So just instead of paying a hiked up pre-order price, just be patient and wait for it to be available retail, and then you can get it for a retail price, sealed. And because it's going to be sealed and added to your collection, it doesn't really matter if you wait a month or two to get your hands on it, because it's just going to be added sealed to your collection. Now, if you want to rip it and get into it and be one of the first people into it, making the big pulls quick and flipping those cards quick, then you may want to consider risking a pre-order. And if that's the case, go through a trusted source, basically, is what I would say. Yeah, you always do have some risk, and that's a really good thing to point out, and that's Rob looking out for everybody that's watching this video.
I would also recommend, if you haven't already, go to local card shops and try to build a relationship.
But not our local card shop, because that's ours. Sponsored by... Nah, just kidding. Walmart. Target.
But yeah, if you do that, you're more likely to get one box put aside for you, or they might shoot a text and be like, hey, we got these boxes and we're not going to hold any for you, but come in and get some before they run out. Building relationships is really key on getting product for a good price, and also getting it as soon as they get it.
Yeah.
So go out to your card shops. Support local businesses and small businesses, and do that because it'll only benefit both of you. That's a win-win. They're gonna make their money. You're gonna make your money or add to your collection. Win-win for both of you guys. So that would be my advice is to hit up those local card shops, let them know your name, make a card, put it down on the table, tell them to hit you up.
Nice, good advice.
And then buy some of their shit so they know you're serious.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Rob?
No. I think we're all good.
Check us out.
Hold up. Make sure you go out to your card shops, like I just said, or big box brands, and try to get your Hidden Fates because they're back on the shelves.
Or hit us up if you're local and this comes out on time.
Yeah, if you're around the Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Connecticut area, and you want to drive probably a while to get Hidden Fates, hit us up.
No, but make sure to check us out on Instagram, YouTube at the Crelectors. It's gonna pop up right there. It's gonna be a big, beautiful.
I might be too lazy to do this, but I'm just gonna do this in case.
So Rob's just waving his hand for no reason. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we could help you out with some content and information. Have a good day. Peace.